Pixar shorts! They always confused me as a kid in cinemas, as I kept thinking I was in the wrong screening all the time. But they're the little cherry on top of quality animated filmmaking, and we always seem to skim over them once they're over. But not today. I spent an evening or two binge watching every Pixar short, and today we're gonna rank them all from worst to best. Do movie spin-off episodes count, or separate short series? Sometimes. I've defined my watch entirely through this one row of Pixar shorts on Disney+. So the first episode of this Spark short series appears, whilst this pink one does not.
So if you have a problem with what got featured and what didn't, blame Disney+.
Whoa, hey, you can't just butt into any videos, my dude. We don't have skits in this series. We have rules, you know?
I don't need your rules. It's written in your contract. I can appear everywhere.
Oh.
I'm amassing an army. It is to be 200 strong, and you're gonna help me get there. It's in the contract.
Ugh, fine. If you want a version of me all for yourself, the very first merch that we've ever done on this channel, then check out makeshift.com. The link is in the description. This is a limited time offer. It's only going to be available for 3 weeks and then nothing else. And we need a minimum of 200 units to sell, so if you're vaguely interested, do please support us, and maybe you could have one of me for yourself. Plus, it'll let me know if I can maybe make more merch in the future. Now, with that out of the way, while I watch the shorts in this very specific jumbled order, we'll start from the bottom and make our way up, starting with The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. I swear this ranking isn't just going to be fairly young guy shouts at old animation. Released in 1984, this is the oldest short Pixar ever made, and it's made massive strides in animation technology. But it definitely makes its inspirations clear. Andre sounds like Donald Duck, there's a Looney Tunes-esque title card, classical music, and the stories barely there. Andre is confronted by a bee, decides to trick it and bolts away, gets stung and throws a hat at it. It's a demo at most and just a cat and mouse rivalry, but not much as a self-contained story. Mind-blowing for the time though, of course. Very expressive, but that's it. Tin Toy from 1988. Now this is the notorious old project. You seen a Pixar logo like that before? To be honest, all of these shorts have variations and it's fascinating to see the intro changes. Anyway, Tin Toy has this tin toy trying to escape the clutches of a horrifying looking baby. You can definitely see the technology's age there. Tin Toy discovers all the other toys are hiding from it too, and decides to predict the Ugly Doll's ending right there and then, and do what's best for the baby that's now hurt itself. Leaving me to ask, what are the parents doing this entire time? And then the baby ends up playing with plastic bags instead. This is a safety hazard. Still, there's a remnant of a plot here, and I like the reveal of all the other hiding toys. But of course, Pixar's gone a lot further later in time. Hey, so I told you it's not just some young sod shouts at old stuff. 2021 stuff can suck too. Man, I really have some resentments for Soul, I guess. 22 versus Earth is about 22 despising Earth, so much so that they strive to stop souls from seeking it. 22's not funny. The joke is she gathers some souls, they blissfully stick to her and find their passions as they go. Their passions are the highlight of their jokes, like being a follower sheep, or as Geri puts it,
oh, as if Earth needs another politician.
but they steal the show. I'd have preferred a short succinctly sticking to them, cause this doesn't have a resolution. It's the same gag 5 times over and then 22 curses the Earth. What a disappointment. Geri's Game, the great Easter egg jester man himself. Emerging in 1997, this short is about an aged geezer playing chess against himself. There's no dialogue, but a good heck of a lot of expressions from his two characters. And the use of overlapping sounds starts to give off the illusion that there are two of him. But the overall story is strange. Fragile man is subjugated by the confident one until he cheats and gyrates the board around. And if the cheat to win moral wasn't enough, the final shot is one last wide angle of him sat by himself. Great, what a dejected, cynical ending. It's a fun concept, but there's no message and an unsatisfying ending. Also, yes, he appears in Toy Story 2. I hope you like more depressive cynicism. Red's Dream is about the real dreams of a rubbish and low-value unicycle from 1987, ready to be the star role of a performance. Really, it's probably one of the first rendering gags with having the unicyclist removed from his ride as he resumes. And hey, I like that flooring. This is actually a respectable array of character for such a restricted rig, so props for that. But the twist of the film film, and an artsy way they do it is the uproarious applause from a triumphant show is replaced by rainfall as we return to reality. And then Red grieves in the corner, realizing he will never reach his dream. Yikes. Not really a resolving plot, just some imagery and a slap in the face afterwards. And now I'm blue. Partly Cloudy published in 2009. It's at this point we're present at the post-old school territory properly, but we're nowhere in proximity to the prominently grand productions yet. So this is a stork story where the presiding logic of the planet is that babies are produced from cloud magic. That's pretty cool, though sometimes they can specifically make just a bone, so I'm partially uncomfortable with that. This short, however, doesn't present the perfect example, instead portraying a pitiful cloud and an even more pitiful passerin. This is just pain humor, and it doesn't resonate with me. And it's just one quip played repeatedly. The petite piece of a plot there is has the stork peace out on the cloud, a moment of sadness happens, and then they were just prepping gear instead. Ah, friendship. Not a great short though. Doug's Special Mission is the debut of an additional movie spin-off idea that directly ties in with the development of their movie. They're pretty damn cool in concept, I like my in-universe lore, but despite that, this short just isn't that funny. I find the high-pitched dog gag as not decent, but dull. And again, it's the redone theme of Doug's directed what to do and it diverts to disaster for the dogs. All to culminate in him being dejected right up to the moments before meeting with Carl and Russell. A kinda wholesome ending and direct shots from the movie. Is that lazy? I enjoyed it. It's 2009 lore. Well, here's another in-universe spin-off, Auntie Edna from 2018. Directly in the full-length edition, we have an evening away from Jack that we don't experience. And this fills that empty gap. And putting in Edna mode as the protagonist is an excellent move. But it doesn't stand alone well. Really, it's just an exhibition of what Jack can do, which is fun and interesting and imaginative-ish, but there's again no real direction for it. It doesn't have its own identity as a short, and it's just a here's what occurred sequence. As Jack goes out of control, Edna just locks herself away until it ends, and then creates, and then all is okay. I want a montage of making it work somehow. More exchanges and interactions other than, whoa, wow, you know? Luxo Jr., a classic. Delivered in 1986, this little baby lamp is now 35 years old, just like all the sound effects for the Pixar logo. It's cute, simple, and a lovely use of lighting and shadows for the 80s. And it has a good reveal of the big bull. But otherwise, it's kid ruins luxury toy, let's loose another. It passes for a story, but boy is it bare bones. Now, Boundin in 2004 always bothered me as a kid. Don't know why, it's actually not that bad. A musical bit of a tapping sheep gone bare. A narrator reads all of the lines and rhymes, and an American jackalope bestows the sheep some confidence and a bound in his step. The song is kinda light on effect, and is the idea that tapping is bad? Why is this American influencing his dance moves? Still, the thought is there, kinda. Now, Riley's First Date is a very fresh and modern Pixar short, and I don't know if that does it any favors. It's fairly dialogue focused, but formulated on the finest joke in the film. Girl. It was funnier in the film. The mum is just cringe humor, but otherwise it feels like a fun in-universe sketch. Frequent smash cuts, fun interactions, a good twist, and a final punchline that fails to land twice. Fun, but not all a winner. For the Birds in 2001 is probably the first short here with a decent message, somewhat. These early 2000 Angry Birds are a bit rude and aggressive, but cute in their sound effects. Then a dopey bird comes along and agitates them more. They attack back, karma catches up with them, and some physics punish the lot of them. Then it ends with pooping on the camera. Classy. But it's great, simple, and has a moral. Don't exclude people. Nice. Hey, did you know we have tier list videos on actual movies over on our second channel, officially renamed to DazzReviews 2 now? It's extra content with a more casual vibe. And of course, if you're part of the 80%, come along and join us too. Or buy our very first limited offer merch if you're already here. Yes. Alright, Scooby. Thanks for the support. You're already halfway through. 2006's one-man band has two grand pantomime buskers clash for one coin in their pan. This second guy is totally an early Despicable Me character. The kid's not a fan, gives neither a glance, and reveals instruments are what he can understand, more advanced than the other lads. It's fun, but I feel like it could have enhanced the song and dance, kooky harmonizing or something like that for such a sound-demanding expanse. And the ending was kinda obvious. Transparent, I guess you could say. Mike's new car is amazingly a spin-off of the original, not University. I had no idea. And it magnificently matches the original's mannerisms. I assumed it used the same Incredibles joke, but then it moved the other way. Tremendous. It also feels like easy fan service though, repeating movie jokes numerously like it's a job. Also, not that many mechanical car jokes get played with. I much like the phone joke of calling Sully from within the bonnet though. It's classic Pixar goodness, but almost lazy in its method. Lifted from 2006 has a logo with reorganized sounds. How silly. A little alien is abducting a life like it's a driving test. The music halting on slapping a wall is fun, and the looks along this lad's face are very legible. You got your visual laughs on the limberness of this life form, and then he demolishes everything but the bed, and it closes on a Wilhelm scream? Lame. It's fun, but there's little jokes, and predictable too. But look, it's from our boy Gary Rydstrom of Newt fame. And screw it, this isn't the usual Pixar short, but it's new. Us Again is just from Disney in 2021. It's a unique musical dance number about a useless old man who's lost his spark. But apparently rain ushers him to action, making him young. They enjoy a dance he pursues for his youth as the rain leaves, and he settles for an uncompromising, age-appropriate dance. A new universal spark discovered. It's sweet, nice, and upbeat. Yeah. Ah, Bernie, with its 2008 ASMR vibes, how satisfying. Bernie has one job, but the events of the film keep interrupting him. And it's really clever how he's on the antithesis of everything happening, like being under the ship as it turns. What I also really liked was the post-epilogue vibes of revealing what hadn't been seen before. Cool. It's simple, repetitive, and I really liked the end. Good one, Bernie. Now, Your Friend the Rat was a brave choice in 2007. It's a 12-minute educational retelling of the reported history of rats. Hard to sell, eh? But really, it's pretty entertaining, and the visual graphics are great and creative. I mean, 2D was already a dying art form then. They kinda sugarcoat the lab rats element, and it's all a parody of political uprising, just don't mishear a word like I did.
Abandon Russophobia?
What? It's very enjoyable as an adult. Different, but smart. George and AJ is again in 2D, now just in animatic form, playing out like a proper sketch parody of Up. We see the lives of Carl's carers reacting to the balloon house and how Carl starts an elderly uprising of escape. This is just incredibly ingenious and enjoyable, but it's just the same jokes, and the ending is weak as hell. I audibly laughed though. That's impressive. Wow. Now, Piper is some next level visual quality. It's 5 years old now, but so perfectly realistic. Has technology progressed further than this? A petite bird is petrified of the ocean, but becomes proficient at finding food for themselves. The sound effects are punctual, movements perfect, nice comedy with its smash cuts, and appealingly cute. I wonder if that procedure is genuinely real. The Legend of Mor'du isn't really an enticing title, but it's a pretty good tale. Told by the witch from Brave in 2012, we learn of a son hell-bent on power and also tricked with magic. The animation's great, story gripping, and as we learn that Mor'du chose to kill his brothers rather than unite and break the spell, this is going more Russian than Scottish, we get some pretty dark lore from the Brave universe. Also, she's not addressing the audience, it's this Scottish boy. Great all around, cool and visual, and sticks the landing, as opposed to my accent. That was awful. No, I'm not gonna do it again. Next, I'm surprised Monsters University made it this high. Party Central in 2014. Scheming to steal a party, Uzma Kappa commit a capital crime by using sequential human doors to teleport everyone over. There's a fun parallel between what the monsters do and what the monsters notice, and as our mum executes the most radical stunts, the humans witness literal hell, and the ending is pretty amusing too. Still, they've absolutely just exposed their entire dimension. Oh, Burrow, I do not know. Is it a Pixar short though? Well, it's great anyhow. From 2020, a bunny burrows their own home but struggles to find their preferred scope. Disaster follows when a water leak opens and she eventually gets help from her Ho community to survive and get her dream home. Frickin' aw. This is really good. 2D, dialogueless, dramatic, messaging's great, jokes. It's just a super solid bit. I gotta watch more. And speaking of wholesome, 2015's Lava. This is just Lava-ly. Entirely a musical piece, but the song hits much harder than Boundin. It's simple, but it goes through all the story beats and resolves it too. Not to mention, it's a marvelous tribute to their real-life counterparts. Mwah. Now, Knack was announced in 1989, but was in fact renovated in 2003. I had no notion of this, but I now can kinda notice with the nubbliness and the basic shapes and textures. Nevertheless, it's a notable, innovative bit with the fancies of this snowman and how his antics interconnect with his snow globe. Great music, great execution, and a nice twist too. The end of the 80s nailed it. And no, I didn't ignore the knowledge that they negated the Knickknacks knockers. How naughty now, no need to nag. Only perfect spheres were manageable back then, which is a bit much. Goodness me! La Luna was the initial film I watched on this binge. It's a 2012 short with some lofty Mario Galaxy vibes. Love the warped logic, the visualization of cleaning the lunar moon is a fabulous original idea, and the blathering dialogue is a lovely touch. There's an underlying theme of realizing your own identity, and it even has the cloudy with a chance of meatballs eyebrow moment. Just super cute and nice and wholesome all around. Just exceptional. So I'm not a religious guy, and I probably wouldn't click on this unprovoked. But actually, this 2015 short, Sanjay's Super Team, really represents everything wonderfully. Being a mostly true story, it's about a kid not being into the prayers of his passionate father, but instead discovering that the superheroes he desires could also be in the form of the gods his family worships. It's a nice meshing of passions, and the actual sequence is fantastic. I love the lighting of it all and the wholesome ending. With real-life photos to boot? Oh, we're really diving into the personal representative stories now. 2018's Bao I didn't like at first, mostly because I thought the character design was a young boy rather than a mother. But on rewatch, it comes together great. A dumpling grows up like a kid and the mother rejects their distancing, and it was all a metaphor for her real-life son aging up. Taking it at face value is certainly not the way to approach this, because it turns out this was actually really smart. Just that character design is a flaw. Also, haha, dumpling head. Oh, this is a clear classic. Can't believe it's from 2010. Day and night sets on two 2D silhouettes interacting with their timely backgrounds as well as each other. This is really just an outpour of creative ideas, and the exploration of its concept really beams through. Not to mention there's a really good pitter-patter of diegetic sounds for every moment that blows past. Though they do gawk over an unasking girl. Aged a little less well in our current political climate. Oh, and she litters? Yeah, no thank you. Otherwise, this is brilliant. Presto! 2008's masterpiece scenario, all about the crescendo battle between a tuxedoed magician and his amigo Rabbit, with real portal hats. Magnifico! Again, animated like an Illumination project, it just demos its ideas with great gusto, with all sorts of creative combos. And it makes for a happy resolution for both of them. No tomatoes thrown. Now you're thinking with portals. Oh. The Blue Umbrella, another classic drenched in style from 2013. This has a splash of the soul look. A beautiful rainy evening, there's pareidolia everywhere, what with all these faces, and a soppy romance between two stark umbrellas. I love the in-sync music sprinkled throughout, as well as how everyone is secretly rooting for them. And they help? Oh, it just gets to me. Now I want matching wellies with my umbrella. Ooh, Lou is another short I never knew, but it's new-ish, releasing in 2017. All about a goofy lost and found monster who accrues lost things when out of view. The one true tortilla potato dude. A bully comes through with a ruse to steal, causing a fight to ensue between the two with some fascinating creative monster design views as just an amalgamation of stuff. And to subdue the taboo, Lou shows the bully their lost teddy and doesn't pursue the new stolen stuff, but construes he withdrew it all instead, making a few friends along the redo. And upon review, all of Lou has been unglued. A charming yet bittersweet ending that's just perfect. My oozing heart. And the last short on our list, the grandest short from the grandest Pixar movie, 2005's Jack Jack Attack. Another in-universe adjunction, but it's got it all. Fun fan service of characters, a grand reveal of Jack Jack's powers, and a genuine journey of the story beyond the spectacle. After the worst babysitting jaunt from Anne over-encumbering Jr., with a major choir on fire scenes and actual jokes in between, Kari in due course manages to master the job, somehow having a bath ready to go. That's convenient. And once it's over, we even see Syndrome's interactions with one more joke for the adults. I may be nostalgic, but I loved every moment. The idea, the execution, the resolution, all of it. Only flaw is the bath. Otherwise, Pixar perfection. If you were curious to see how precisely I ranked these shorts, here's them all laid out in order from bad to meh to good to great. Or even still, here's the score I gave them, though it's not the most accurate thing. Still though, tell me your own thoughts, or how passionate you are about Knack or something. Or better yet, suggest anything else for the other series on our Discord. Maybe more rankings? We'll see. For now, mine has been Daz.
I'm Toy Daz.
Ugh. You didn't really care. Next week, we've got another cancelled video as we're flipping our schedule to oct, or talk, if you'd rather. And I'll see you in a bit. And buy our merch! Seriously, 200 is a lot of units to sell, and it's only available for 3 weeks, so do please support our very first attempt.